Welcome to Surface. Surface is high-performance, salon-exclusive hair and skin care that completely respects personal health and the earth. My name is Christina, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the Surface Freedom Haircut. Our Freedom Cut is our long layered cut that is part of our core cutting system. This is my guest Tina. Tina really likes her length, but she'd like to see more volume at the top and more movement throughout the hair. So Freedom's going to be a perfect cut for her. I've already prepped her using our Trinity shampoo and conditioner. I chose Trinity because she loves her red, vibrant color. Trinity has the highest amount of amaranth protein that's going to add volume and strength to her hair, but also really protect that hair color. I then sprayed in our Trinity Protein Cream. This is my favorite cutting lotion to use. It has a blend of basu oil, which provides hydration, along with our amaranth protein to also give that strength. It adds a great slip to the hair, so when you comb, it just glides right through. So we're going to start by cutting the perimeter of her hair. I'm going to choose to use my 7-inch swivel shear. I like this 7-inch to cut the perimeter because I can cut large amounts of hair at a time. Also, the swivel allows me to flip my shear and directionally cut. So I'm always cutting in the direction that I want the hair to flow. First, going to section her off using my TK2 comb. My TK2 comb has this tooth right here that is perfect for target parting. Whenever we're cutting, we want to use nice clean parts. So I simply go in right behind the ear, stick my finger on the other side where I want it to meet, and just glide across to my finger. Pull that hair up. Clip it away. Now Tina's very sparse in this area, so I'm going to choose to use my 7-inch swivel shear to cut the perimeter line. It'll give it a more blunt look, giving the illusion of strength. I could also go in with my razor if she had a little more hair in this area, and I could go in and cut little triangles on the ends, little points, and what that would do is create the sense of more movement. Start in the middle, combing the hair so it lays where it lives. I'm using the wide teeth of my comb to do this. I'm going to go in, put the shear in the middle, and cut that hair away. I'm going to come around, flip my shear, just comb that a little more, and there's our guide. You can also target part using our surface clips. Just go in. The size of the sections really depends on the density of hair you're working with. As long as you can see your guide through your section, that's what you want to make sure of. Comb that hair down again so it is laying where it lives. Go in the middle and just cut that hair away. Drop it down. Pull that hair down. little bit of a curl right here, and this hair kind of just keeps wanting to move that way. That's okay. You can use your comb, actually, to hold it straight. So now when we get into the sides, I'm going to have Tina turn her head to the side and comb this hair down. That way we have a nice flat surface to work with, and we're not trying to work around her shoulder. Comb that hair down. Snip it away. And we're going to do the same for the other side. Now it's time to put in Tina's layers. So at Surface we work in zones. Our green zone, our black zone, our 2 red zones, and our blue zone. So next I'm going to section off Tina's green and black zones. How we find these zones, we're going to take our 2 combs, and the black zone starts at the high point of the head. So you would simply place your comb and see where that comb starts to lift off. That's going to be where your black zone starts. That's your high point. The section around, we use the side and rear ridge. To find your side and rear ridge, stick 1 comb on the top, 1 on the side, and right where those combs meet, that's your side ridges. And same in the back. That's your rear ridge. So I've sectioned off Tina's green and black zone. We're going to be starting in our black zone, and for this I'm going to switch to my Surface Razor. Surface Razor has a silicone guarded blade, making it very flexible. The silicone guard protects not only us, but our guests as well. It also protects the hair so we aren't able to shred it. The razor itself is ergonomically correct and evenly weighted. It has a finger rest that you can use, or you can use it just like a pencil. So I'm going to drop down Tina's black section. And we're going to divide this black zone into 3 sections. We never want to work with an area bigger than the size of our razor. So we're going to section out into 3 separate sections. And that creates a kind of like a rectangle section with 2 triangles on the side. So now I'm going to divide that center rectangle section into smaller sections. I'm going to use the fine tooth of my comb to comb it up nice and smooth. Now through previous consultation, we've already predetermined where we want Tina's layers to start. But all you need to do is drop it down to measure where you'd like them to start, and then just pull it straight back up, combing everything nice and smooth. When you come in with your razor, you want to place the spine of the razor against this section first, and then flip it up and just shatter that away. Pick up your next section using the previous section as your guide. Comb that straight up. Spine of the razor gets the hair, flip it up, just shatter that away. I'm going to continue this throughout this section. And notice that I'm standing directly behind my section. This avoids any type of over direction. You also want to pull that hair up from directly where it lives. That's why we're also taking smaller sections. Over-direction can cause weight and length on the opposite side of the hair. So you may end up with that weight in your guide. And the little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. A little extra weight in your guide will continue throughout the haircut. You may not get the final result you're looking for. So now I'm going to move over to the triangle section on the left. And as I go to this section, I'm also moving my body position to make sure I'm standing directly behind the section I'm working in. I'm going to pick up a little bit of hair from the previous section to use as my guide. Again, directing that hair straight up from where it lives. Spine of my razor to the hair. There's my guide. Just shatter that away. We'll continue this through both sides. Right side. Standing directly behind my section. I'm going to be moving into my green zone. As a right-handed cutter, I'm going to stand on the left side of my guest. If you're left-handed, you want to start on the right side. In the green zone, we're going to be cutting progressive layers. We're going to use our guide from our black zone to begin to progress up from. And we're using progressive layers. We're going to leave a little length in the front that we'll have more hair to work with later. So I'm going to continue using my surface razor. Pull this hair directly up from where it lives. There's my guide. I'm just going to shatter that away. Take a section. My next section, using the previous section as my guide, pull that hair directly up, there's my guide, and just shatter that away. We're going to continue this all the way across our green zone. Now that I've completed my green zone, I'm going to let down a 1/2 inch parting all the way around the side and rear ridge of my green and black zones. And that's going to be used for a guide for the rest of my layers throughout the cut. Pull all this up and just clip it away for now. Now that I left my 1/2 inch parting around the head, I'm going to start, again as a right-handed cutter, I'm going to start on the left side facing my cut. In this section, we're going to continue our progressive layers around the head. So we're going to pull this hair directly up. Find our guide and just shatter this away. Pull up my next section using the previous section as my guide. Comb that hair up. Here's my guide. Shatter away. Starting on this side, you have the previous section as a guide clearly in front of your section, so you always know where you're going. Once we get to behind the ear, you want to keep in mind that you're still in your red zone. So the hair in this area tends to be more sparse. So in order to avoid creating a hole, you want to be very aware that when you're pulling this section up, that you're pulling out when you get to the length. Now that we're coming into our blue zone, we're going to section this off at the occipital bone. We're going to continue with our vertical partings, using the previous section as our guide. Pull this up, shatter away, and then grab this section in the nape and just blend those layers into the section above it. There should be very little hair to remove here, and that's okay, because what that does is it creates a strong foundation, which is leaving a little bit of movement in the ends. So I'm going to continue with my vertical sections all the way around. So we've walked all the way around using our progressive layers to leave maximum volume in the hair. But Tina had a little more hair and we want to collapse. Instead of going palm to palm, we could do descending layers, doing knuckles to the head, going up and shattering down to collapse the hair. Another option is if you're trying to remove a lot of bulk, you could go in and do a concave layer, which is just a deeper shatter into and pulling back out to remove bulk. Now I'm going to start my face framing. I'm going to continue working with my surface razor to give a nice soft edge around the face. You could at this point switch back to your swivel shear and walk the shear down the hair. And what that does is it gives a blunter look. But we're going to keep it pretty soft around Tina's face. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to use a real light shatter, again, to keep it nice and soft. Just go in right about here and do nice soft shattering technique. You're almost making like a question mark, pulling out at the end to collapse it. It's like a question mark shape to kind of open it up and then collapse it at the end. Now we're going to go over to our fringe. To find our fringe, a little hot tip for you. Place the comb on your guest's head, rock back once for a light to medium fringe, rock back twice for a more medium fringe, and 3 times for a strong fringe. Tina, we're going with a light fringe, so I'm just going to rock back once. Again, I'm going to use my target parting and come out to that side ridge. I'm going to keep Tina's fringe longer. Grab my surface razor, and I'm going to cut from short to long, just lightly shattering all the way to the end. This next part is very important because it tends to get forgotten a lot. I'm just going to clip this fringe out of my way. We want to frame the face on the other side. What tends to happen is this hair gets forgotten a lot after we do the fringe. We just kind of walk away. But what they're left with is a very blunt piece right in front of this ear. So we want to go in and just do exactly what we did on the other side, making that C shape, or sorry, question mark shape, pulling out at the end with a nice light shatter. So now we're ready to blow her out. I'm going to choose to use my Jump Mousse. The Jump Mousse has a directional nozzle, so we can spray it exactly where we want it. I want to get into her roots to get her that maximum lift. The Jump Mousse uses corn husks and sugar cane that actually repel from each other that will create a nice lift right at her root. Now for the midlights and ends, I'm going to switch to my Bliss Smoothing Cream. Choosing Bliss, using about a nickel size, rubbing it through for my midlines and ends. And that's going to keep all those fuzzies and flyaways down, keep it tame. It's also extremely humidity resistant, but it's still going to leave body in the hair. It's also a really nice blow dry cream because it adds that slip so your brush again can slide right through. So we just finished our blow dry and you can see all the nice volume and movement we've got in Tina's hair. But I just want to do a little detailing now that we have her dry. So I'm going to do a technique called framing. What that is I'm going to start in Tina's black zone again, right around where she parts, and pull up a section. I'm going to put see where Tina's hair actually wants to bend. I'm going to go right above that. I'm going to go right above that bend, placing the spine of my razor against, going straight up, and just lightly shatter. Pull up the next section. Do the same thing, probably about 3 sections to get to the end of the black zone. Now what this technique does is it puts some shorter pieces underneath. Short hair pushes long hair forward. So those short pieces are going to act like a frame acts to a house to support that longer hair above. You're going to get some great lift right in this crown area. Another detailing technique, you have a heavier spot, is our weave cut. So you can just grab this section right here. Wherever you have like a heavy section, you can do this. We're going to go weave in and out with our razor just as if we were doing a foil highlight. With the razor, we're just going to lightly shatter that hair underneath away. It's just going to add some pieciness and lighten up that section. So just to recap, we started by swing cutting Tina's perimeter, cutting in the direction we want the hair to flow. We then sectioned off our black zone, pulling the hair layers straight up and shattering away. We wanted to make sure we did not over direct this section and pull the hair up exactly where it lives to not create any extra weight or lengthen the hair. Then we moved into our green zone. We stood on our left side as right-handed cutters. If you were left-handed cutter, you'd start on the opposite side. Pull these sections in the green zone directly up, progressively cutting all the way across the head. Then we moved over to the other side, started our progressive layering all the way around, so our guide is always in front of us, clearly visible, moving all the way around the head with progressive layering. We could have used descending or concave layering for higher density hair as well. We then came in, created a question mark with a soft shatter with our razor for our face framing. And then we sectioned out our fringe, again cutting in the direction we want the hair to move, making sure not to forget to do our face framing on the opposite side. We then learned a technique called framing, where short hair pushes long hair forward. So we applied some short layering underneath our long layered section in our black zone, giving us extra lift in the crown area. And we learned a technique called a weave cut, where we weaved our foil in and out and shattered the hair underneath to create some light airiness and maybe some heavier areas. So this is your Freedom cut, our long layered cut from our core cutting system. Thank you for giving me the most valuable thing you could today, your time. Surface is high performance, salon exclusive hair care that completely respects personal health and the earth. I want to challenge each and every one of you to use one of these new techniques you learned today on your next guest.